Okay, we are up to the co-main event. Misha Cirkunov versus Ryan Spann. Guru, spit that hot fire.
Man, this is another fight, man, where I feel like both these guys are so untrustworthy, man. It's like
listen, we talked about Cody. We were talking about before a show. It was so much easier to remember the names of the events when they had like a title, right? This is UFC Vegas 21, untrustworthy. Go ahead, Guru.
But shit, it's like Johnny Walker versus Ryan Spann, right? It's like that fight, it kind of is like the epitome of Ryan Spann in a certain way. It's like he's dominating the fight, and he's done this multiple times where he shoots in on takedown against the cage, just leaves his head right there to be elbowed, gets taken out. And I mean, in that fight with Johnny Walker, it just looked ridiculous too, because he gets hit to the back of the head. I mean, it was an illegal shot. It's like 4 or 5, and he goes up and is like talking to the ref, like, right when he's still in the clinch, and he gets elbowed right in the head and knocked out like 1 second later after he's telling the ref like those were shots to the back of the head. So, I mean, and then you see Misha Cirkunov, who it's like, have we ever seen Misha Cirkunov get into a bad position and, you know, come out the other side? Because I mean, I guess the fight with Jimmy Crute, but even in that fight, it was like I feel like Crute easily, if he had a little bit more composure, could have finished the fight, because he went so wild to finish, and Misha just, you know, it was cool the way he locked in that Peruvian necktie, got the sweep. But to me, that was more of the fault of Jimmy Crute. And then you see you see Misha's fight with Johnny Walker, where he just gets flying knee in the first 20 seconds of the fight's over. So it's like Volkan Ozdemir versus Misha Cirkunov. He gets hit with like one little punch to like, and he gets knocked out. So it's like, with these guys, it's hard to trust either guy. I mean, Ryan Spann, I feel like is the better striker. But, I mean, both of them have durability issues. Misha's a southpaw. He throws that, you know, big left kick. He has that good left cross down the middle. But to me, he's kind of a little bit plodding and, you know, robotic on the feet. I definitely feel like Ryan Spann is way better at range, much faster. And he has a crazy reach. He has like an 83.5-inch reach, whereas Misha only has like 77 inches. So, I mean, I feel like on the feet, I think Ryan Spann's going to have the advantage and could knock out Misha. But it's like if he gets clipped too, he could go down as well. I mean, you've seen him rocked in multiple fights. And, you know, in terms of grappling, both these guys are grapplers. So that's going to be interesting to see. I mean, you see Ryan Spann, he has a good top game for sure, good sweeps off bottom, and he has a really good guillotine, man. I mean, that's probably the most dangerous part of his game is that guillotine. And Misha Cirkunov, I mean, if he gets on top of you, he's shown, you know, a lot of variety of submission, stuff like that. So one thing I will say is, you know, Ryan Spann, I felt didn't look very good at the weigh-ins today. So that's something that you kind of have to talk about. But, I mean, I don't know. I'm struggling to pick a winner for this fight, but I'm actually just going to go with the underdog. I'm going to pick Ryan Spann because I feel like he's the better athlete and the better striker, and his grappling is pretty good. I mean, he has good takedown defense. We saw in the fight with Devin Clark, who I think is, you know, probably a more explosive wrestler than Misha. He was able to defend the takedowns pretty well and ultimately, you know, submitted Devin Clark. So I'm going to go with Ryan Spann, but I mean, I could see Misha taking him down and getting a submission. I mean, the only thing is Ryan Spann's only been submitted by Robert Drysdale. So it's like, that's, I don't think Misha's even on that same level. So, I mean, Ryan Spann is a good grappler. So I'm just going to take Ryan.
Right on. Cody, what do you think?
Yeah, okay, so I took Ryan Spann as well, but that weigh-in certainly did nothing for my confidence, man. Like, he comes in half a pound overweight, which is never a great sign. Does cut, makes 206, so, you know, that is a good sign, but he looked zapped, he looked drained, and it's going to be a bit of a problem in that you've seen the Sam Alvey fight where he presumably had a good weight cut. It's like the longer these fights go, man, he gets tired, and once he gets tired, his game just completely goes out the window. Misha Cirkunov, if he takes you down and he ends up on top of you, you're in a world of hurt. And it's not just he's a great grappler, which he is, and, you know, BJJ black belt under Sam Zakula, you know, he's got the works. It's like, you know, you see the Alex Nicholson neck crank, right? It's like a jaw crank where he just breaks his jaw, right? You see the Peruvian necktie. It's like these are all power moves or strength moves. Like, it only needs a limb or a neck for a few seconds, and once he gets a squeeze on you, like, you're not going anywhere. You see how the dude's built. Like, you know, okay, we rep the guy from Canada, but, like, no, he's built like where he's from, Latvia. Dude is a thick Latvian man. He's extremely strong. But I remember in his UFC debut, Brian Stan's open speculating on commentary. He's like, does he have a back injury? Like, why does he move so, like, stiff? It's like, that's how he strikes. He's not exactly a great striker. He has worked on like throwing up that head kick and, you know, a couple decent hooks. Like he's a powerfully built guy. He's got some power, but striking's not his domain. And yeah, we can write an excuse for him. Oh, well, he only got knocked out by Volkan Oezdemir and Johnny Walker. Like, it's going to happen, but it's the method in which he's getting knocked out, which is like absolutely stiffened. His fight against Glover, you know, we talk about how good his grappling is, but like he looked scared in the Glover fight. And as soon as Glover got on top of him, his grappling just went right out the window. And then, yeah, the Jimmy Crute fight, like he's having his way with Jimmy Crute. Jimmy Crute ends up on top of him and starts battering him. It looks like the ref's warning him, like, dude, you got to do something here. And it looks like he's about to accept it. But Jimmy's like 22 years old and is just staring at this, you know, victory and just goes balls to the walls and ends up getting swept and gives up the Peruvian necktie. Jimmy will be a better man because of it. But Misha's now taken off a year and a half since then. He's 34 years old. Cardio was always an issue. You know, speed's kind of an issue, but he's just got a nasty ground game. So here's the thing. Every fight starts standing. With Ryan Spann, he's got that power. If he hits Misha, I would think he'd knock him out. Ryan Spann by knockout was +2, I think it was 270. It's like, this is a nice-looking price tag. He's got more than a chance to go out there and knock Misha. But if Misha ends up on top of him, it's going to go the other way. So this is a degenerate bet, right? It's very volatile. It could go both ways. You know, a lot of people are pro Misha with the submission. A lot of people are pro Ryan Spann with the knockout. Regardless, it's like, boys, let's just go after that under 1.5 rounds at -140. Misha's last 6 fights have ended in the first round. He's had 9 fights in the UFC, 7 of which have ended inside of the first round. And with Ryan Spann, it's like he's got big power. He likes to go out there and land early and get the knockout. How has he been losing? Oh, wow, wouldn't you know it, in the first round. So I feel like both guys are going to meet. And listen, if Spann had a bad weight cut, gets taken down and gets and beat here, yeah, we're going to hit that under. If Spann's weight cut, it's not a big deal and he lands first, we're going to hit that under. And if for whatever reason, you know, Spann knows it was a bad weight cut, I'm fighting on borrowed time here. I don't want to fight for 15 minutes. And he decides to just be aggressive and go for it. It's really going to help this under 1.5 rounds. So that's the move I would say. If you're not really sold on a clear, concise winner on either side, just go for that under 1.5 -140.
Yeah, that probably makes a lot of sense, man. I'm going to end up going Cirkunov in this one. You know, Guru, you said, though, man, Spann's only been submitted one time. Robert Drysdale, a guy who was so on the juice, so sauced up. This guy never even got to make his debut in the UFC, right? First drug test they gave him, they said, dude, you're on everything. And sure enough, the guy just never even got the shot. I think he's still a jiu-jitsu coach out of Las Vegas, though. World-renowned. The guy knows his stuff. So to get submitted by a guy on that level, not surprising at all. But, man, Ryan Spann, we've talked about the untrustworthiness, the lack of heart, the lack of drive, the lack of success some of these fighters have had. And, man, I just have a really tough time fully getting behind either one of these dudes. I mean, Misha Cirkunov, like you guys said, this guy's had 2 first-round KOs in 30 seconds. Now, look at the guys. I mean, Volkan Oezdemir hits him with the boop. Say what you will about that shot. I think it probably had a little bit more impact than it would seem. Johnny Walker blows through, stiffens this guy up more than he already is, like my man Cody's talking about. You know what, though, man? Ryan Spann at weigh-ins today, I do think he had the worst cut of anyone. If there's any notes on this weigh-in that we saw today, it's Ryan Spann needed the extra hour to cut another half pound, comes in at 206.5, just barely makes it. He's going to hold on to that 20% of his purse. But I do feel like that is just that extra little bit that's going to push me on the Cirkunov side. I'll keep it real, man. I think Cirkunov's live for that sub. I think it happens. I mean, this is a guy, Ryan Spann, who's going to split decisions with the guy in Sam Alvey. I mean, Trevin Giles, another middleweight, and not even a big middleweight, has beaten Ryan Spann. You know, I just question the dedication and the motivation and the heart of a guy like Ryan Spann. But then I also got to question the durability of a guy like Misha Cirkunov. Cody, I think you might have got it, dude. Look at the numbers. Seems like that under 1.5 should be a hitter. I'm going to take Misha Cirkunov in this one, though. But, oh, man, who knows really, right? It's good. There's a reason they made this the main event. It's going to be action-packed as long as it lasts, I think.